In this lesson, we are going to look at how to set breakpoints to pause on strings. Firstly, we will learn how to set and remove the breakpoints, how to run to the breakpoints, and also understand what are arguments or parameters for calls. So let's get started. If you were to run the Mexican Crack Me program from the command prompt, it will display a string "try harder" and then it will quit immediately. Let's try to run this using the x64dbg. We drag the Crack Me and drop it here to run. Now we press F9 to go to the entry point, and this is the output. The program has begun and paused at the entry point. If we now press F9 to run, it will run so fast and quit so fast that you won't be able to see this message, "Try harder." Let's take a look. Let us press F9. Sorry, F9 is here. And immediately the program executes and terminates so fast that you won't be able to see the string "try harder." So now, how can we put a breakpoint so that the program will pause at the place where the string is being displayed so that we can see it in x64dbg? So let's restart. Click on the restart, and now go to the entry point by pressing F9. So before we can set a breakpoint to pause on the string, first we must look for the string. Sometimes we can look for the string by searching in this column. So we can scroll here, make sure you are at the entry point first, then you can scroll down and look for this string "try harder." And there it is, "try harder." x64dbg has helpfully interpreted this code and showed us the content, so it is easy for us. Now we know that this memory address here for this instruction somehow has this string stored there, "try harder." So we can put a breakpoint here by double clicking, and the breakpoint has been set. As you can see, the address has turned red. So now we can run the code by pressing F9, and it will execute all the preceding instructions until it hits this instruction where it will pause. So let's go ahead and run it. And now the code has paused, but the string has not yet been output to the terminal. At this point, the instruction here is move and so on. So what it is doing is, it is preparing the string. Preparing for what? It is preparing the string for the next instruction, which is call print. So every time there is a call, the preceding instructions must prepare the parameters or the arguments that will be used in the call instruction. The same thing up here. All the instructions preceding the call are in preparation for the call, because the call will make use of all the instructions data up here. You can examine every call. Before there's a call, you will have a set of instructions that prepare the data to be used by the call. So the same thing happens here. Before this call happens, the preceding instructions will prepare the string, try harder, so that this call will be able to execute and show the string in the terminal. So now let's press F8 to move on. So now we are at the call and we are about to execute it. Let's press F8 again and see what happens to the terminal window. As you can see, the call has been executed and it has moved on, and there is an output in the terminal window, try harder. So this is how we can use breakpoints to pause at strings so that we can see the output. Now let me show you another way to find strings. Let us remove this breakpoint first. Sometimes we may not be so lucky as to be able to find strings in this column, because the code could be very long and we could not be possible for us to keep scrolling and scrolling to look for strings. Fortunately, there is an easier way to look for strings. So let us restart this program, and now press F9 to go to the entry point. So we are now in the user module or user code. So to look for strings in this user module, right click and then scroll down, select search for current module string references. I repeat, make sure you are in the user module and then right click, scroll down, search for current module string references. Click on string references and then it will open the tab string references. Perform the search in the user module. User module addresses, as you will recall, usually begins with 004 and so on. And now it has found all the strings in the user module. And look, one of it is try harder. So we can now directly click on this address to go there. And we land directly on the string that we are looking for. And then we can go ahead and set our breakpoint here. And then click run so that it will run and execute and stop at this breakpoint. Let's click F9 and it stops here. And then F8. F8 again. Take a look at this output here. One more time F8. And there you are. The string has been printed to the terminal. So this is another way to look for strings, and it's probably the easier way rather than to look for strings by scrolling and scrolling. So the strings will be found and listed under references, where you can actually see all of them. Sometimes the list of strings may be very long, and you could actually use the search in here to look for a string in the result. So if you wanted to look for a string in this result, you can type try and immediately you will find the result try harder. So that is how we can search for strings and set breakpoints on strings. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Meanwhile, remember to remove the breakpoint. Thank you.